Welcome back to the PO3 Podcast. My name is Marcus Marks. We're coming in a little hotter today. Onward!
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I told you.
No. Whatever. What's up? Just John here. What's up, guys?
Do you like it though?
Yeah,
It's
cool.
cool.
It's a little banger.
I like it just because I like it. So I'm not
Yeah.
gonna justify it.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. Do-doom.
Coming in with a bang today.
Ooh, sponsored by Not Bang.
Dude, we gotta get sponsored one of these days.
That'd be cool. Like Kmart.
Fucking Kmart, 7-Eleven.
They're all Kmart's
Like
all,
Bad News Bears, they got the fucking the strippers.
the stripper club.
Sorry, Ma, I just cussed already. You just talked to you about this. She's like, don't cuss as much. And 5 seconds in, I'm already fucking cussing. So
Hey, there's
Right on.
50 cents.
damn.
Quarter of the time you said the F-bomb.
Hey,
Hey, do us a favor on this particular episode. Every time he says the F-bomb,
Drop a like.
You can do that or share, or you can just keep tallying at the very end.
Mm.
We can see how much money he owes his mom. It's a quarter per fuck, right?
I used to have a little ding thing. Anytime I used to say, "Don't quote me," because I said it a lot because I wasn't sure of my facts. So I was like, "Just don't quote me," and then I would do. I think I got up to like 10 dings.
For just don't quote me.
Yeah. So we'll do. This one's gonna be interesting.
Oh shit.
So, yeah. It's damn. Why did I dig myself that hole? Because now I'm gonna try and hold it back. I don't want to cuss as much.
Yeah. Actually, I think I've been doing rather well.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I got a. Bad,
Well, I mean, like in front of this.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I got a
I'm pretty
dirty
bad,
mouth.
but
I'm a bad boy.
bad boys.
Like
for
and
life.
subscribe. I hope you guys like the content here on the PO3 Podcast channel. I got to remind myself to say that. So if you enjoy the content here, please like, subscribe, and share and comment. It really helps us out. So yeah, with that said, what you been up to, man? I haven't talked to you since
The last.
the last one.
So Monday.
and I'm still a little insecure about last week.
Yeah, that one's kind of a.
Are we still friends? Or I just don't want to look at you.
Yeah, I'm just. We just won't be having any sleepovers in the future.
Let's just forget that happened.
You're gonna put that out for the world to see. It's gonna be there forever. What goes on the internet stays on the internet.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I accept it. This is why I signed. I know what I signed up for. I know exactly what I signed up for. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not holding anything back.
Oh man. No, everything's good though, man. Everything's good. How about yourself?
Okay, so it'll probably get a little deeper today, just because, like I said, I'm on my journey, and today is the day that I'm officially supposed to begin my medication, and I'm struggling with that, man. I'm fucking scared, dude.
So you have the pills with
I
you.
have it, and I'm supposed to start today. And I think I'm going to do it tomorrow just because I didn't know how it was going to affect me. So I didn't want to feel drowsy or feel weird while I'm doing the podcast and have to wrap it up early because I'm not feeling good. But today was supposed to be the day. And plus, I'm drinking an energy drink and haven't eaten yet. And I've been busy. And with these pills, you're supposed to take them at the same time every day. And I want to take them in the morning is what my doctor recommends. So yeah, dude, I've been having nightmares about it. I'm not even lying. Like last night I had a bad dream about it of just like dosing myself, administering this medicine, this foreign medicine that I've never taken. It's foreign to my body. It's a new realm for me, man. And it's not something I want to do. Trust me. Like I said, if I could just turn the switch off, I'd rather just turn the switch off. And I've done my homework, man. And even the doctor was like, well, if you're not comfortable, because I talked to her and had her reduce the dose for a couple weeks because I felt like she was bumping the dose too quickly. And that's just me trying to talk myself out of it, But she worked with me a little bit, but I'm still paranoid, So I just...
I mean, again, for my position, it's easy for me to say, hey man, just down the hatch, but
yeah.
You said one thing during that whole thing that kind of stood out to me. It's medicine. I understand it's a foreign substance, and so and then you said that there's that one disease. What's it called? Something.
Steve Johnson
there
syndrome.
You go, yeah. That you can develop from that. So obviously there's some concerns, and then of course just like what's it going to do to you cognitively, But you said medicine, man, and that's what it's for. It's meant to help you not be a detriment and add to the the things you already struggle with. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, see, it has a black box warning, which means that the side effects are can be deadly. They have the potential to kill you, and that's a real thing. A black box warning is nothing to be fucked with. 50 cents. And that's something I take obviously seriously. And I don't know. I know I'm like sensitive to chemicals in general, but I don't know. I mean, the percentage is pretty low. It's like 6%.
low percentage, and I mean, I might be wrong for even drawing these comparisons, but I'll walk down that path. But how many other things have we all done that have black label warnings that we just ignore, or black box warnings? I mean,
I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you. I mean, I'm drinking something
well, I'm
right
talking
now.
like, I'm sure you've driven drunk and driven before,
I have.
or driven drunk.
Yeah, I have when I was younger. Yeah.
And so that clearly comes with a black
box warning.
you
Crossing
know?
the street, black box warning.
So I mean,
Getting hit by a car, black box
well,
warning.
I mean, getting hit by a car, yeah, that's kind of something else. But like, this is something that I'm talking about, things that you did knowingly that
Yeah.
has a high potential for it to negatively impact you or somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I'm guilty of it too. We've all been there and done stupid shit. But my point being is that it was most of the stuff that we engage in that has a black box label is only for what should I say? Temporary self gratification. Where if this has the desired effect, it's going to help you long term and give you a good consequence. So it's like, if we've done a bunch of other stuff just because it's cool right in here and now for the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
And not really too concerned with the black box labels that are lurking around every corner.
Yeah, and everything. Everything's got some type of side effect. With the potential to harm you permanently or kill you in some cases. And yet we operate without fear. In most cases, and that's still how I want to live my life. Yes, I am fearful, but I refuse to live in fear. But it is something that I've been going through and have been putting off. But I know I'm going to do it. It's just the dread, like the kind of when the roller coaster's just kind of going to the top. I'm anticipating that drop, and this is one of those things where I'm not going to even find out for a couple months until how it's going to affect me. But it's just like we've discussed in the past. It's just getting that ball rolling, and for me, this is the biggest boulder I've ever tried to roll in my entire life. And I feel like a pussy because I know there's so many people in this world going through like 10 times worse shit. And they're so courageous for a lot of the things that people do. So popping a pill to them is just like, dude, come on. But it's something that I've struggled with my whole life because I have PTSD because of something like this. So putting chemicals into my body is, caused that for me. But I know on the other side of it, it's like on the grand scheme of things, this is very minuscule. But it's my battle.
Well, I mean, it's all subjective, and it's in your realm. So it's whether it's big or small to me is irrelevant. It's in your world. So if it's big to you, then that's the only thing that matters. But I would just say, look, man. I mean, granted, to me, the potential positive outweigh tremendously the potential negative that comes from it.
Yeah. I gotta look at.
Like,
I gotta look long term.
And exactly, and again, it's easy to say that seated in my position. What I'm saying? I'm not needing to take in these chemicals and medications to help me do this, but so it's easy for me to sit here and be like, hey, well, just the pill, just pop it and get over with.
Yeah.
But I think like, look, man, again, it could be just me being callous, but it's a pill, dude. Pop it down the hatch. It's going to be over and done with. All the mental anguish is going to lead up to them in the moment. Boop, down the hatch, you're gone. And
here's what scares me about it, and I totally understand that perspective, but I know myself, and I have a tendency to overthink things. So I already know I'm going to pop the pill, be fine, and then as soon as I fall asleep, I'm going to wake up in cold sweats, tripping myself out, and kind of being a hypochondriac about it, And that's what scares me is my own thinking, is because I have a tendency to overthink things and overanalyze things. So I need to make sure that all my ducks are in a row mentally, and that I got to be logical about everything. I can't be coming up with these fake symptoms. Not fake symptoms, but like tricking myself into thinking that something's wrong, you know, because it's really easy to go down that path for me. And I know a lot of people probably struggle with, you know, hypochondria and stuff, but in my particular case,
And I would probably say it's even probably a mild version of it too.
well, I mean, this is what provokes it for me if I do go through it, because normally I'm not like that, but when it involves this type of shit, that's when my anxieties start to really, really kick in. And I've struggled with anxiety my whole life, but I got over it at a really young age, and I learned how to manage it. And I've never had a panic attack I haven't had one since I was like 15. But I already know that this is, if anything's gonna do it, it's gonna be this, you know. But I'm prepared, you know. It's just it's scary to me, dude. And
no, I get it. I mean, maybe something that would probably help you. And for me, like, granted, the comparison I'm about to draw is not even probably a good one. But when it comes to, like, you know, I know public speaking, people, there's like, I don't know how accurate these polls are, but they say stuff like people fear public speaking more than death itself. You know, and so having to go and do presentations in front of classrooms and things of that nature. There's that's I would say a small anxiety that I would deal with from time to time. And for me, the way to get over it is try to make it as trivial as possible.
So you struggled with public speaking before for yourself?
Oh yeah, because it's like, it's funny how I could talk to. Okay, so like for instance, when I was going through my academy, we started with 49 and we ended around 40, maybe high 30s, and I would talk to the classroom, like, in just BSing, you know, like when we're just having the discussions and stuff, and I could talk to everybody just fine. And the moment I was presenting something, and it was like, now all attention is focused on me. It was kind of like, I don't know if it happened to you, but like, wait, that's what I guess. Like, I can hear myself from the outside. I'm like, that's what I sound like. I sound weird. Like,
exactly.
You know, like
when you're reading, like in class.
Yeah, exactly.
When it was your turn to read, I hated that shit, bro.
So it was like that. But for me, I would try to make it as like trivial as possible. Like, okay, this is just another freaking day with people that I already know.
Did you like try and cover it up with like cracking jokes and stuff?
No, I would just give my thing, but it was one of those deals where I just tried to make it as like benign as possible. Like, I'm just talking, you know, like, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff, and I'm getting graded on my performance and the stuff that I'm supposed to be presenting, because I had like certain topics that we had to cover for the course, the particular learning domain we were going over. I had to address certain issues that were assigned to me, like, hey, you got to find what this means and then explain it to the class and blah, 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 blah. And so I was nervous about that, but I was just trying to make it like, hey, I'm just talking, you know, like, why am I nervous about talking? And so like, that was kind of my way of walking through it. And so like, and I do that with everything that kind of gives me like, I'm a little apprehensive to start. I try to make it as basic as possible. Take away whatever makes it scary or foreign. Let's just break it down, man, to its basic fundamentals. And to me, it's like, when it comes to medications, like, dude, I already know all the crap that comes with it. To me right now, at this very moment, it's just a fucking pill. I was going to throw it down the hatch like an Advil that's going to take away a migraine. Yeah. And
I can argue all day with you as long as I want and be like, well, this and that, right? But at the end of the day, like you said, I got to break it down and make it as simplistic as possible. And what it comes down to is this going to help me? You know, and that's the question I need to ask. And if it's yes, then I need to get over my fear and face my fear head on. And even the doctor asked me, she was like, if you don't want to do this, we can wait a few weeks till you know, prepare yourself mentally. I was like, it's like, there's no more preparing at this point. It's like, I've prepared for this my whole life, and it's either I'm going to do it or I'm not going to do it. So it needs to be now. So I had my out, you know, but and
well, you have this is one of many outs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it's not this particular prescription, I'm sure there's a few others that they can prescribe that are slightly different and that may be able to give you the desired effect, if this one isn't the one that's going to help you.
And
you know?
and honestly, it's pretty rare that you just take it and you're good. Like, most of the time it's trial and error for a few years. And this is just the beginning, really.
Well, I mean,
but I just want positivity right now in my life. It's just anything that's going to help, you know, and just because a positive mind frame really makes a difference.
Well, yeah, your outlook toward a situation definitely determines how, you know, good or bad the experience will usually turn out to be.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it's like to go through the swings that come with bipolar disorder. going from a manic state to a depressed state and then falling somewhere in between. And I don't know how often it affects you, but if this can minimize it drastically, then I would say that sounds like a win for me just in itself. And whatever crappy next few days you might be going through would probably be worth,
the uphill battle.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, it might be a little bit of a muddy start, but as each day progresses, I get further and further out of the murky waters, and now I'm going to be, we'll just say out of a year, 90% of my year or 95 or 96% of my year is going to be in my normal state of mind, and I'll have very few,
Yeah, I mean, their goal was to make me go from feeling shitty 7 days a week to feeling shitty 4 days a week. That was their goal. So, 3 days or something like that. But with exercise, positive thinking, a correct diet, normal activity on top of medication and therapy, and a good relationship and surroundings, support group, it can be way more than that. It's not just, they're just saying this is just what the medication's going to do. The rest of the heavy lifting and the groundwork comes from my end. Like, I have to do everything. I got to do the heavy lifting, man. I can't just rely on that to be what's going to make me better. I know 90% of the work is going to come from positive thinking.
Well, I mean, if you do that mathematically, that's damn near 50% battle taken off the plate, because, I mean, there's only 7 days in a period. And so if you're at 3 to 4 days, that this will help you feel a lot better. That's a pretty significant increase just from one particular thing. If you're, like your relationship, diet, all this other stuff you just mentioned, contributes to that being maybe 5, 6. So you have one bad day out of a week. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I'll take it, dude. I'll take it. And I'll tell you, just me doing my fitness has contributed tremendously to the way I feel, man. Like I said, I'm starting to slowly understand what's working for me, and I've just accepted, man, I gotta be, and I don't like to call it a diet. For me, it's a lifestyle change. A diet is implementing that you're gonna eventually just go back to regular eating.
No, actually, it's the other way around. People just conflate it. It's a diet, whether you're on a diet regardless if you're losing weight or trying to gain weight or don't give a crap about either one in between. Your diet's your diet. If your diet's pizza,
technically
Cheetos,
speaking.
So that's what I'm saying. So you're right. Like this is just, you change your diet to fit your needs is what it is. You know.
I feel like people in general though have the idea that when they hear the word diet, it's cutting weight.
Yeah, exactly. And that's but it's.
So for me, it's not like that at all. It's like I plan on, this is for me a long-term thing.
This is
my life.
This is your diet. So I understand it completely. I just think people, like you said, when they hear the word diet, they're like, "Oh, he's trying to lose weight," or he's trying to, like, no, dude, like your diet's there regardless. It's just what your diet consists of. Is it of lean protein and vegetables and some fiber, or is it fucking hot Cheetos and pizza and ice cream?
Well, I eat hot Cheetos.
For me, it's burritos, but
Oh, I mean, come on. My one vice is hot Cheetos, but I allow that because all day, every day, I'm eating clean and exercising and drinking nothing but water. And then when I do the podcast, I do these, which are sugar-free, but that's probably a scam. So I allow myself something, to look forward to at the end of the day. It kind of gives me an incentive to put in that work. Like, look, let me get my shit out the way, and then I can enjoy my little snack, my something. But I thought I was the only one, but then you go into it, and like bodybuilders do this shit all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like some bodybuilders, you trip out. You're like, I had 3 tubs of like pints of ice cream, like the Ben and Jerry's. But I'll eat 3 of those just because I know tomorrow I'm gonna go kick ass in the gym and I'm gonna burn all that off. It's not gonna do anything. And then my diet is clean, all week. So
actually, I think on Wednesday, no, not this Wednesday because I'm only working one day this week. I am next week. I'm gonna start my my meal prep again.
Oh wow!
Dude, because for those of you that don't know, I recently acquired a very, very expensive smoker, and it's not expensive because I'm bragging. It's like won it in a raffle. It was a smoker that I would never have ever purchased.
Oh, you didn't buy it?
No, I won it in a raffle.
Oh wow!
It's like a value of like $2,500. I got it for $50. Yeah, so
That's a
Shout out
steal,
to Manny Hernandez, aka Mr. Lockdown Barbecue.
Wow, that's dope, dude.
Yeah, that's the only reason I have it. You know what I'm saying? And
I just thought you got the itch to like barbecue something.
no, like it was just what, dude. Honestly, one day out of the blue, I was on Instagram. He had it. I got like 3 spots left on my raffle, $50 a spot, and I says, well, the only way you don't play, or the only way you don't win is if you don't play.
Mm.
You know, so
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
exactly. So I was like, you know what, screw it. Here's $50, and then like 2 weeks later, it was a crazy ass morning, and then I wake up and I get a text message from my buddy saying, "Hey, you won the Yoder," and I was like, "What the hell?" It's like
A little green guy shows up with big ears, and
right,
stuff, and a lightsaber.
and sure enough, the guy messaged me. He's like, "Hey, man, contact me." You know, and I saw my winning number and the little chip and stuff, and I watched the video of him doing the drawing. But all that to say, you know, I finally got this really, really nice smoker for free, basically. You know, I've spent $50 on ridiculous stuff before, you know. So I've actually been put it to use. I think I bought showed up at my house April 20th. Where are we at today? May 17th. I've already put like 8 or 9 tri-tips through that thing. 2 pork shoulders for some pulled pork. I made some from scratch homemade mac and cheese. And then yesterday I did some shrimp. And I was like, dude, it's easy to like meal prep because like literally all I do is turn the damn thing on, set my temperature for it. It gets it up to temp. I put my, you know, my seasonings in for meat, salt, pepper, basically. And I walk away and I go manage it from my phone.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? So like I have no excuse now not really to freaking be trying to eat clean again.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what I'm just going to do is just like get some chicken, do some chicken breast out there, get my thing of shrimp going, and I'll have my works week worth of food.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll hopefully save me some money because I usually eat Subway every day because that's the, you know, the thing that's on the way out of town toward work. So that's like $12 a sandwich.
Yeah, yeah.
So hopefully it helps out.
And you're cool with like eating 5-day-old food? Like after you meal prep it?
If I do it on a Wednesday, I only work 3 days a week, so it'll be like 3-day-old food.
Because I can't stand the taste of like the rice ain't too bad, but it's more like the chicken and vegetables.
The rice I'll probably make daily. You know, maybe I'll make every other day. But for the protein, beef, I don't like to reheat in the microwave. To me, the microwave totally destroys the taste.
And chicken,
you know?
It makes it so dry.
I could deal with dry chicken.
No.
I just can't deal with, as long as I can doctor it up with like a little bit of teriyaki sauce to get it going again or something like that. I'm not trying to eat super clean to you know, go.
You're trying to eat better.
I'm trying to eat better, you know what I'm saying? And doing this and you know, cutting out fast food and stuff will definitely help out, which I haven't been eating fast food a lot lately anyway.
What's the last thing you had?
The last thing I had was last week. Actually the night of the podcast, so Monday. That was the last thing I ate out.
Should have told me, dude. We could have went and got something. I think because I'm due for a cheat day every now and then, you know.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I wanted to fucking treat you to pizza and like go chop it up about, you know, the podcast and stuff. And then I enjoy a cheat day, man. Like I'm not trying to be like so overboard with the diet like I was when I was trying to reach a goal. Like I said, I'm trying to maintain it. So every now and then you need that stuff. And for me, it resets me. Like if I have a bad meal, it's not so much a loss anymore. It's just like you have to fit this stuff in for your soul. It's like it's soul food.
Oh, some soul food.
I love pizza, man. Like, come on, who doesn't love pizza?
Oh no, I agree. And again, like you said, I'm just doing it to eat better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's no excuse to not do it. And I've actually been finding we got way off track with this, but I've been actually enjoying myself in the kitchen and barbecuing and preparing food.
That's good, dude. It's therapeutic, I bet.
Bro, I didn't. So I know a bunch of people that do it, and I always feel like, oh, it's just a guy thing. Like, oh, guys like barbecue, you know, But actually, I've been rather enjoying it, man. And I can't take any real credit other than the fact that I'm able to follow directions incredibly well.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just following other people's recipes. So
you don't overthink things like when it comes to directions?
No, I just, if it says point and shoot, I'm going to point and shoot, and then I'll try to figure out why I point and shot throughout the process. But, you know, I've found success in it, you know.
You would go good in the military, dude. Go up!
Right.
Why did you put that weapon together so quickly? Because you told me to, drill sergeant?
Yeah. So, yeah. So, and again, it's just like, So I can't take any sort of credit for it personally myself, that I'm out here inventing new dishes or anything like that. But I've found success in doing it, and but it's just fun because like seeing it done and then taking it from, whether I got it on YouTube or on a particular page or whatever, and then putting it down and then having other people try it, what I'm saying? Like, this is freaking amazing. It's cool. I have that one in my memory bank. That's,
Bro, you and Sean should open up your own little spot, because I know that guy can get down on some barbecue.
Yeah.
And if you just get to where he got, I don't know how good he is now, but if you can get to anywhere, because I've tasted his tri-tip that he barbecued and then like burnt ends. He brought some over one time to Ian's house, and I was like, dude, this is probably the best thing I've ever tasted, like far as barbecue. And I wasn't even kidding, man. I've only had barbecue from like Doghouse Grill, I mean, and a couple other places, and then obviously homies and stuff and like family members, but by far the best I've ever tasted.
Yeah, and that's kind of what my goal is. I don't have any ambition to want to open up a joint.
You just do it for you.
For me, I don't like being shitty at whatever it is that I do.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like, even if it's like tic-tac-toe, I'm like, I don't want to be shitty at playing tic-tac-toe.
You're just competitive, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Or you're a perfectionist, maybe?
No, I won't say I'm a perfectionist. If I can be the best that I can be, then I want to be the best that I can be. And then if I wanted, I don't feel like being 100% today, then I could take, but for me, it's just kind of like, I'd rather learn how to do it well. And if I feel like having lazy days, then I can have those lazy days. But in the beginning, I feel like I should be learning as much as I can so I could be the best that I can. And then if I just feel like I could cook corners here and there for that and it'll still get away with it, then I'm cool with that, But it's just kind of how I am, though.
Yeah, I'm on the same. I'm like, if I'm not going to do it right, I don't want to do it at all, because it's working out again. If I don't have good form, I'm just like, there's no point of doing this, man. If I'm overtrained and I'm trying to work out, it's like, what's the point of this? Because I'm not doing anything right. I'm half-assing everything. And then basically it just came down to like, well, I really didn't make any gains because I didn't put in 100% in what I was doing. But that's in like any capacity, like cooking or studying or whatever, Son of a gun. I got to take this. One sec. I'll cut this out. Hello? But yeah, it's just like in any capacity, bro. You can apply that to anything. Like, just as long as you're doing it 100%, you know what I mean? It kind of gives it the full meaning, because I don't like to half-ass anything, bro. It's like, I don't care what it is, and I don't know necessarily where that even comes from, but I don't like to cut corners. There's something like inside of me that just feels like I cheated, and I don't like to be a cheater, especially like even with cards or something like that. Like, I would feel like a piece of shit if I won the game. Like, I know that's the whole point, is to win, but like, I want to do it the right way with like strategy and stuff, not because I was dealing from the bottom of the deck.
But yeah, I think anyway we got off from.
Well, that's what we were talking about, because you were saying that before I got interrupted, but my doctor called me about you want to be able to learn like the fundamentals and stuff and do it right before you can start like cutting corners with it. If you ever did,
yeah, and so. Oh, just maybe like, maybe not even, I don't want to say necessarily cutting corners in the sake of like taking the easy way out, but it's just like, hey man, like I want to make some tri-tip today, but I don't feel like going through all the 107 steps. I can just, circumvent most of it and just get away with a decent tasting thing and call it a day. But yeah, all that I've been rather enjoying it. It's been extremely therapeutic, man. Like
it's like your zone probably,
I think it's kind of like how one of the reasons that I liked construction, and I'm sure this is true for most that do it, even though they might hate it at the time, it's like when you look back at the project, like, yeah, I helped build that. That's my hands helped create that. And so it's kind of like the same thing, like, yeah, that bomb-ass dish that's in your mouth, yeah, I created that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I put the work in. I minced up this. I diced that. I, trimmed the meat up. I cued it. I pulled it off at the right temperature. I seared it. I did this. I did that. And for all those, 1 through 20 steps, and the reason that you're enjoying it is because I did every one of those steps, So that's what's fun for me for it.
I was the same exact way in construction. Now that you mentioned that, it was plumbing, right? So everything gets covered up. You're not going to see the work that you do. But I still didn't allow myself to like glue something and then just have the glue dripping everywhere. Like, I had to make sure it was neat, and there was like a nice little ring around the the joints and where they meet and everything. And I had to make sure my shit was straight, obviously. And I was really, really like focused on the aesthetics of it, even though I knew that it was going to get covered up. But in my head, I was like, what if somebody sees this? What if a foreman walks by, or, somebody running the job site, and they're probably going to wonder in their head, who did it? I mean, that never happened, but I'm sure somewhere along the line, somebody walked by and appreciated that work, you know, and I could look back and be like, I did that, you know, versus look at this guy's stuff.
You know, and I'm sure even for like repair aspects later down the road, if then
Oh,
something
yeah.
breaks and then you do a crappy job and the repairman that's got to come through has got to basically go do and redo your work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Which I'm sure he don't care. He'll probably make a little bit more money, but you know, it's just I know there's been things that I've done in the past where I come back after somebody. I'm like, dude, what the hell did you do? And like, I got to do this whole thing over. I just can't sit here and do my little portion and neglect all this trash that's next to it. You know what I'm saying? So now I got to do your job basically for the, you know, again. And, you know, it's kind of how it works sometimes. But
So the other day, dude, to switch subjects, like I mentioned, bro, like I just been super nervous, man, and a lot going through my head and stuff on top of, you know, bouts of depression. Actually, the day that you left, remember I talked to you after the podcast? I was like, I feel myself struggling, dude. Like, when we wrapped up that very next day, bro, I fucking crashed. Like, I was done. Like, I had probably a good 5 days of just pretty hard depression, you know? And it was like overwhelming, you know? It hadn't hit me that hard in a long time, dude, to the point where I was craving foods and stuff, and I almost wanted to binge eat and just fucking let everything go that I worked so hard for, you know, and just hopeless, you know. And I was like, fuck, dude, there's got to be a way to just like come out of this, you know. And I was cooking dinner one day, and I think it was like Friday or something like that, and I hit a small workout because I was slowly starting to come out of my depression, and I hit a workout, and I was still feeling pretty weak, but I did it, you know. And I was like, fuck. So I started cooking my meal, and for whatever reason, dude, I don't know what the hell came over me, but I had so much aggression built up, and I put my food, like I wasn't even done cooking with it. I was about to eat, and I threw it in the microwave, and I was like, I just ran outside. I literally just ran outside, dude. Like I fucking like speed walked to the door, and then I grabbed my house key, and then I closed the door and I ran. I sprinted down the stairs, and people were like walking, like coming into their houses and stuff. And they just see me like jolt by. And I ran as hard as I could, bro, until I threw up. I ran until I couldn't run anymore. And I was like on the verge of tears, bro, like running like hard just because I had all this emotion inside of me, dude. And I wanted to push myself, you know, and I haven't been running for cardio just because every time I attempt running, I hurt my ankle or I mess up my knee, and then it just sets me back. And then anytime there's an injury, I know it's hard for me to sustain my diet. So it just kind of everything unravels. So I'm like, let me just do cardio the safe way, get on the elliptical, and I can extend my period of time which I do my cardio and just avoid the injuries, you know. But I love running, you know, it's so therapeutic to me. And that day, it did a lot for me. You know, I got done with my run, and I was just like, there was a point, dude, where I was running and it felt primal. And I'm not even kidding. Like the look in my eyes that I could imagine was like the look that a tiger gets when he's about to like pounce on his prey, bro. And that was like, I got tunnel vision, dude. And I was like, oh shit, I can do a lot in this mind state right here. If I just maintain the state that I'm in and this drive, I was like, dude, I haven't felt this in a long time, dude. And it was primal, dude. I was like, this is dangerous, bro. Like I can really fuck some shit up right now, like internally, you know, and just really get a lot done in this mind state. And nothing was gonna stop me, dude. And I got home and I was like out of breath and everything was like hazy because I was like still tunnel vision and the runner's high and stuff like that. And then words just started pouring in my head, dude. And I was like, dude, there's a lot that could be like to be learned from like pain, you know what I mean? And I started writing some shit down, and here's what I wrote down. I wanted to like share it with you and just like share it on the podcast. And like um it was just weird to me because like I do get ideas and stuff, but never like after physical activity. But I pushed myself to the point where I literally couldn't run anymore, you know, and I was dead. Like I was throwing up and stuff, you know. I was running hard. But let me see. The first thing I wrote was I ran as hard as I could and I let my heart do the heavy lifting and not my overthinking. So I like let my heart like push me forward. Like I wasn't thinking of like, oh, what if I do pass out? What if I do hurt myself? What if I end up throwing up? I was like, nah, like none of that existed, bro. Like I was just running with my heart. You know what I mean? Like remember on Forrest Gump? I just felt like running. That was me, dude. I just felt like running. So I was like, I let my heart do the heavy lifting and not my overthinking. The pain that I felt or the pain that you feel from coming undone is truly beautiful. The emotion I felt just reminded me of my purpose, which is to wring the rag of potential. And then after that, because I started feeling all this shit, like immediately after I was done running, and I'm just laying on the bed, dude, and I'm just like trying to catch my breath, but I got my phone out because I'm thinking of stuff. And then I think the next thing I wrote was, don't ever forget how important struggle is to human growth. Pain is priceless poetry. The value and knowledge you can gain from it is truly remarkable. And most people would pay good money for what it's worth if it was offered to them in a pill form or a digestible external source. When all you have to do is treat your suffering like you would a book. Look into it, digest it, and read very carefully to what is written. There's a message there, but you just have to be willing to read. It's not easy to read between the lines when you're going through it and truly in pain. But that's the skillful part of growing, because your first instinct is to quit when faced with adversity. You have to learn how to use your eyes all over again, because most likely your perception on pain is distorted and you're viewing the world through the wrong lens. So just put on your reading glasses and just see that pain can be poetic. That's what I wrote. And I was like, dude, where the fuck did this come from? You know what I mean? Like, why did I start thinking about all this stuff? And it was because I know I'm leaving a lot on the table, you know what I mean? Like, I know that I can push myself a lot farther than I think that I can push myself, you know what I mean? And on the other side of that is a lot of good, you know? So I don't know, if that for me was just an experience that I hadn't felt in a long time, bro. Like, it felt good to just get those demons out. Like, I feel like I feel like a lot came out. Like, I shed a lot of mental weight just by going on a run, dude. It's crazy.
That's interesting. I'm trying to think of a time in my life where I may have had a similar experience, but I don't. Do you think that's synonymous with your bipolar disorder, or do you think that's something that everybody has? Because I'm trying to think if,
Maybe.
like, was that going through one of the phases or states of bipolar disorder?
I'm sure the depression had a bit of a factor on it, and to why I was feeling that emotional, and to why I ran as hard as I did. But at the same time, it was a buildup, you know, over the years. Um, yeah, dude, I feel like it's a combination of both, you know. Because for me personally, like when I push myself hard and physically, mentally, there's a lot to be learned from that. That's how I grow personally. Like that, my character is kind of like carved from hard work, you know, and pushing myself to my limits is where I find a lot of knowledge. I often find a lot of gold in that, you know. But to answer your question, I think a little bit of both. I don't want to deny it, but to me, it's a little bit of both.
No, again, because I'm just trying to see if, like, because what you wrote, the stuff you wrote when you got back home
I was nervous reading that.
was rather it was intense, and truthful in a lot of sense. I'm just trying to see if I'm trying to really think back if I've ever had a situation where I had that type of emotional release at the end of something, you know, like I've broke plenty phones being upset, you know, and something and throwing it down and kind of like, even though my phone's broken, like that initial, like, I got it out, you know, a little bit of frustration, but that doesn't sound comparable to what you were describing. That's interesting, man. I don't know what to make of that. I'm glad that you found what I would consider a constructive way of releasing that emotional energy. I mean, I would imagine in that state of mind, it's you could have chose a lot of different avenues to cope with that.
Exactly,
you know?
and that's the one I chose, and that's always been my life, man. And I think that's why maybe personally I've evolved as quick as I have, or I mean, I've gone through so many different types of personalities because I am that way. Like, I've never gone to the bottle or anything just because I know myself and I don't want to go any further. I know it's already bad enough. So, but for me, I find a lot of therapy in just either being artistic or getting physical. And that's for me, man, 9 times out of 10, if something's bothering me, I like to just beat it out of me. You know what I mean? That's why I love going and doing cardio and then sitting in the sauna, because I walk out of there and all my demons, I just leave on the floor. You know what I mean? Like, you ever hear that? Like, a lot of like NBA stars and stuff, they're like, I left it on the court, man. Like, that's for me, that's like, I leave it on the pavement, you know, and my blood, sweat, and tears, you know. But yeah, I mean, it was crazy, dude, because I hadn't felt that in a long time. I felt like I was repressing a lot of shit, and there was a lot of stuff that I needed to get out. That's why I just ran, bro. Like, I was like, let me just fucking run this out, bro. And I was like, at the end, I was like this, dude. I was running and I was like smiling and shit, like, because I was like, fuck you, you know what I mean? Like, this pain, like, I'm not gonna go through this with my head down. I'm gonna fucking smile, bro. Like, fuck it, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm going to look at this through any lens, it's going to be through a positive lens. I'm not going to keep my head down and do this shit because I'm competitive. But yeah, I mean, now that you mention it, it's like maybe it was a cross between manic and depressive, but I mean, I don't know. It's distorted
No,
for me.
I was just asking.
It's a good point of view, though.
I was just asking because, again, I'm trying to when you describe some of the things that you go through or the things that you do, I try to, reflect back on my life and see if I've had a similar instance.
I'm sure
so I can draw some sort of like empathy or sympathy toward what you're talking about, or sympathy, I should say, because
I don't want sympathy. I was just kind of
because I'm trying to sympathize in the sense that, or empathize maybe is what I'm looking for. I'm trying to understand what it is you're going through, so I can be like, oh, okay, I've had this. What he described this, and I had something that what I would describe as similar, so I can kind of understand his state of mind at the time. You know what I'm saying? And since I didn't, I can't really recall a particular moment like that. For me, I'm just like, okay, well, that might be something that he's going through that might be associated with his bipolar disorder that I don't have. So therefore, I can't really. I have to try to put myself in the situation and think of it from perspective, rather than looking back and say, oh, I have a similar moment.
I understand. I mean, that's cool that you're trying to be empathic about it and kind of view it from my point of view. But like anytime I share stuff like that, and this is for anybody, I'm not ever looking for sympathy. It's just, for me, it's an interesting thing to share. And I wanted to put it out there because I know there's a lot of people.
Oh, no, I wasn't trying to give you like sympathy for the sake of, like feeling sorry for you or anything. It's
exactly.
I'm just trying to truly understand where you were at that moment. I know you're telling me the words, but it's just like, it's kind of like math
trying to
class
make sense of them.
Yeah, I'm trying to really give it more context. And it's not that you're doing a poor job. It's just, I really want to like walk through your shoes to see exactly what it was that you were going through. So I was trying to reflect back.
I get it. That's cool. And honestly, it means a lot because a lot of people would hear that story and just at the end of it, when I was done, just be like, oh, okay, cool. And then next topic, right? You're really trying to dig into it and like read between, which I appreciate,
Well, I mean, that goes back to what we talked about in like one of the first podcasts. I was always that kid that grew up asking why. So this is a similar instance. I want to know why it's like that. What it was like for you to experience. I want, what I'm saying? Like, it's almost kind of like I would love to experience getting shot without getting shot.
Yeah.
I want to know what that pain feels like and knowing that I'm not going to die from it, but as far as I'm concerned, the only way I'm going to experience that type of pain is actually getting shot. So it's just one of those things where I almost want to like, I want to experience it's like, oh, that way when we have like, we can both talk about extreme, or maybe you to a different level, but I would say there's extreme pleasures that we both experience that we could relate to. Yeah. And so like when you say something like, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, I've been there.
That's dope.
And for this particular situation, I want that same experience. It's like, I want to know what he's going through so I can be like, oh. And then it comes down for me is like, then I could, if for instance, you had a situation that presented while I was in your presence, maybe I can help you with something. You know what I'm saying? Like, rather than just kind of sit there and like, oh, well, I would love to help you, but I have nothing to offer you because I don't know what the hell it is you're going through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just me trying to get a better understanding of it all, I guess.
I think
that's rambling to say.
I think that's really cool though, man, because a lot of people won't put in that effort that it takes to be able to view somebody's, view the lens through somebody else's point of view. It's very hard, dude. It's like that's why a lot of people have trouble with it, because it is so hard. Nobody wants to put in that effort, and that's why a lot of the times things get lost in translation, and there's no context.
Well, one thing that I found cool about this podcast when I started, and it was one of the first real deep episodes that we had when we started talking about
29, right?
Yeah, I believe so. It was actually my favorite one that we did up until that point, and the reason I liked it was because I felt, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in another podcast. I feel like I may have, but
You did in person off air.
And I did it to other people, just talking about the channel. But I like it because it's kind of like we have like a yin and yang situation going on here, at least crudely speaking. Like, you suffer from bipolar disorder. As far as I know, I don't have any mental health disorders that I struggle with. So it's kind of like, the yin and yang, so it's like we're coming from, in some capacity, different places. But I feel that that's true in everybody's life. And the thing I want to do for this channel is questions that people may have for someone that they're close to, but don't feel comfortable in asking. They see me asking you these questions, and then you're giving, whether it's a difficult response or not, the fact that you're going to respond though is going to like, hey, well, maybe if I just ask the question, then it might get that information out, and we can start working toward a better path for the person that they're involved in. So that's what I would like to do for the channel. Is like, hey, you're talking about breaking down stigmas. Well, I don't want to be rude or offensive to the person I want to ask that question to, so I'll just stay quiet when really they might just be needing, please ask me this question so I can get it off my chest, And so that's one thing I took from this channel, was trying to do that for everybody else, so that way people can feel comfortable in doing the same thing in their home or in their life.
I was going to say taboo. Let's make
Mhm.
this thing not so taboo anymore. And the fact that you mentioned, like, yeah, let's break down the stigma. And that's a huge part of the reason why I want to do this, man. That's just because there is such a stigma. And that's fucking awesome, bro. Like, that's dope, because I feel like a lot of people, if they see it in action, be like, look, this is a real thing. He's really asking these questions, and I'm going through my shit, but we're comfortable like sharing this with each other. Yeah, it may be different for some other people, because maybe you might not know this person, but just understand that, like, if I can give you the perspective, like, look, I'm struggling, and there are times where I do want somebody to reach out and ask if I'm okay, or pick my brain, on it. Because for me, I enjoy when somebody picks my brain about something, because what it does is it helps me understand myself more, hearing it out loud versus
Oh,
just being in my head all day.
well, and that's crazy that you mentioned that. Like, going off a little off topic, when I was working at my previous employer at the jail, um, when I was a fill-in training officer, I didn't realize how much I knew when I had to explain it to somebody else, the ins and outs of my job and my day, and then explaining why I do things. And I was like, damn it, when the hell did I learn all this crap? So it helps you realize stuff about yourself. So I can relate to what you said there. But yeah, what I just want people to think is that, like, look, like, if I offend you in any of the questions I ask you, I apologize now and for the future.
For me?
Yeah,
You're not going to offend me. I appreciate it, but you won't.
But what I want people to do is like, hey, look, like, just try to find a tactful way of asking the question,
Mm-hmm.
and understand that I would hope that you're not inquiring to be, to be offensive. Like, you're genuinely trying to understand what a person's going through, and you could have the potential to help them through their situation. Maybe there's not a whole lot you do, because I don't feel like there's a lot that I can do for you other than being a support for you. Like, hey, I'm here if you need me. Tell me what you need. And like I mentioned in, like, I think the first podcast, or maybe the third one, I can't remember which one it was that we did together. But I have people that are close to me that suffer from depression, and I started looking online for things that I could do that I could help them as much as I could through their struggles.
I think that's really important, though, because I feel like everybody going through this shit needs to know, on my end of it, that it's not up to the person that they're conversing with or their significant other to fix them. Because I feel like a lot of people are entitled to that. They feel like it's your job to correct them. Do you have to realize that this is your own shit, that no one's gonna come save you, man? Like, it's all up to you. You got to put in the groundwork, and all that other person there is there for, what you need to view them as, is just a tool. You know what I mean? To help you communicate and be, like you said, a part of your support system. But that person's not going to be the one to fix you, and you
No,
need
of
to
course
understand
not,
that yourself. But there are those people that are so quick to be defensive and be like, well, you don't know what I go through. You don't understand what I suffer from. And, like, how are you going to, like, what are you going to do to fix me? It's like you're going through it with the complete wrong mindset.
I mean, and I think, to be fair, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I would assume that there is no correction for these types of conditions. It's just learning how to manage.
Yeah, manage them.
So even to say, like, we're there to fix you, like, well, that's even already starting off with the wrong presupposition,
Mhm.
because we can't fix this. If we could, I'm sure it would have been done by now. You know what I'm saying? So the only thing we could do is treat it and help manage it so the outbursts are infrequent, or less frequent than more.
But you can fix your mentality, and you can fix your perception on your situation.
Mhm.
Because I ordered 2 books, and it's by a psychiatrist named Dr. Amen, and one book is called Ending Mental Illness, and then the other one was Change Your Mind, Change Your Brain. And it's basically all about, well, at least the first one is, they argue in psychiatry that your brain is the way it is, and there's nothing you can do to change it. But oftentimes, scientifically speaking, the way your outlook on life is, if you're negative, it literally shrinks your brain. Stress, negativity, a horrible environment, surrounding yourself with the wrong people, it messes you up, dude. Your neurotransmitters and neuroplasticity is being damaged because of this stress. And they linked positive thinking to making a healthier brain. And I'm totally butchering this, but just the more positive you are, the more it's going to help your mind. And by default, changing your brain, just by thinking more positive. They say the benefits of having a good relationship and a good support system, like a friendship like you and I have, is arguably just as effective as antidepressants for somebody who's depressed. It has the same effects, in other words, which is crazy. So I ordered these books. I'm going to be reading them and stuff. And I can't wait to share what he has to say on that, because there's so much more that goes into it.
When you're done, pass them on to me. I would like to read them.
Yeah, so I'm going to have them probably by this Friday, and they'll be here. And I can't wait to get through those books, man. But it was just funny because at the end of because I was looking at my notes, right? And at the end of that big old paragraph, at the end of that, there's another note that says spaghetti is just long pizza. So it's like, dude, like if you read my notes,
there's a lot going on up there.
Well, I mean, this is stuff for the podcast though, but we'll probably get into it on the next podcast. And if you want to do 2 today, because I know you're tired.
No, I'm good.
I got a little game for John. It's called Idiot Jeopardy. So we're gonna get into that.
Right now?
No, on the next one.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to get into it now?
I don't know how much.
Because we're already 52 in, so I'd rather save for like the beginning.
Okay.
And I do have a weekly challenge this week. We're about 52 minutes in. If there's anything you want to talk about, bro, like let's talk about it. Because like I hate making these all about me. I really do.
No, man. I just I ride the wave, dude. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
So wherever the wave leads me, I'm gonna do my best, stay on top of it.
I just have a tendency to be self-centered a lot of times, and I don't mean to. It's just I got so much going on in my head. It's hard for me not to express it, And
maybe what I'll do on this tonight when I go in for some overtime, I'll brainstorm and try to come up with some topics, and we can run with them next week when we record. Actually, next week too, mind you. I have a birthday party to go to on Monday. I don't know what time it starts.
It don't matter, bro. We could do these Tuesday, Wednesday.
Well, Tuesday. If not, we can't do Monday for sure. Tuesday for sure.
And if not, we're good because this is episode 34 by the time, so we're already back cataloged right now. So
no, but I mean it'll either be Monday or Tuesday. I'm hoping for Monday because I like keeping continuity to the schedule. But
so do I. It doesn't matter to me though. As long as we get it done, within the week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be like 2 weeks out and then you're still like, oh well, I got this, and that. Because I've had that happen before, And I was just like, oh, shit. And then I end up doing them by myself. But I know that's not, I'm not stressing it. I'm really not. For me, it's just like, throw me the heads up, please. Like the courtesy. And that's really all I care about.
Yeah, man. I think I want to, I don't see the harm in throwing out a little side weekly challenge. I want to throw one out there. I may have used them before. So if I have, let me know.
Okay. I'll do mine on the next one.
No. We'll just it's something simple, dude. It literally requires no brain power. So,
but that's what the weekly challenges are for. So you want to spit it right now?
We could the weekly challenges.
Yeah.
We could.
Okay, so let me get into the segment that's gonna merge us into the weekly challenge segment because it's already gonna be an hour in. So that's kind of when I like to do those. So this is the segment of the podcast called the Stigma Enigma PO3 Pathway Weekly Challenge. And what I did was I came up with an acronym for stigma, which was so that I give my all. And slowly this illness guided me along. But the one that you're going to plug into the incentive to take the weekly challenge was so that I give my all. So what I want you to do is just think about all the stigmas on mental illness or whatever terrified you to speak up about whatever you're going through and plug that in so that you give your all. And that's basically it. So, and then you can implement the challenge.
Mine was just for at least the week until the next episode airs.
Okay.
Tell the truth.
That's easy. A lot easier said than done. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it's not something that's going to require a whole lot of mental brain power. It's going to require willpower. You know what I'm saying? So if you see a situation that you could be less than truthful or even deceitful. I encourage you to tell the truth. You'll be better for it. And the cool thing about telling the truth is you don't got to worry about your lies. You'll remember.
Less to cover up.
Yeah, you say what you meant. You say what it was, and when someone calls you back on it, yeah, that's what I said.
I mean, if you're embezzling money from your company, I'd probably keep that to yourself. But, on the other side of truth is liberation. So you take that information how you want to take it. But I'm just joking. But yeah, I think that it's good to be honest with yourself more or less, but with others as well. So
you take that as you will, whether it's with yourself, others, work-related embezzlement, stuff like that, whatever. Just tell the truth.
Yeah, no, it's huge, and it's important to just be truthful, man, and honest.
I was listening to a couple of podcasts recently that Jordan Peterson's been banging them out lately.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's been like 2 a week. Maybe
we've been banging them out.
And he had this one episode with I forgot I know he's a bishop for the Catholic Church. I just don't know. Forgot his name. Very, very well spoken man. This dude, just as articulate as Jordan Peterson. But they were talking about truth and what he described, obviously from a spiritual aspect, and just Jordan describing from a psychological aspect. They connected on every single dot, and there's just like there's no denying that the positive effect that telling the truth has on your psyche.
Oh, okay.
And I don't want to get into it just because
we'll say we can.
I don't want to get into it because I feel like I would be underselling what the message they were trying to relay. I just know that they were just saying, like, dude, telling the truth from a spiritual aspect. Obviously, you're gonna have that spiritual clarity, but the actual effects that it has on your thinking, just from a psychological point, your psyche, there's no denying that the significance it has. So these guys are way smarter than I am. So I'll just take it, and what's the worst that's gonna happen?
Well, what you can do is just do your homework more on it, and then come back and
I'll definitely. I've watched it a couple times, but I watch it like the first time I watch it, like I'm focused on it, and then all the other times just kind of like it comes on again while I'm driving, and I'll kind of listen to it peripherally. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really pay attention to things the way I should. But maybe what I'll do is we can have a little bit of topic on the next one, dude, because it's crazy how all this stuff they talk about just like it applies to this stuff, particularly to this channel.
Yeah.
Not just to life, but like what we're here to do. And so I'll take a look at it.
I've been meaning to get into Jordan Peterson more, but I have so many things that I'm looking into. I want to kind of focus on one thing rather than spread myself too thin mentally.
Dude, I'm telling you, I don't know when you have if you're cooking, just throw him on if you can fit him in, dude. Like he goes good with everything. He's like money. He goes good with everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's whether you're cooking, whether you're driving, playing a video game, sitting on the couch doing nothing, taking a shower, like you could just have him playing on the background. And
that's always what I do, man. Anytime I'm doing anything, podcast is in the background.
Yeah. I like I said, we've talked about him for the first 2 episodes basically. And I can't stress it enough that he's had a very profound impact on my life. And I can only hope that he will have the same for many of you guys that choose to look him up, including yourself. I feel that there's so much information that this guy's acquired over the last 30, 40 years in his profession, that, and he even says, like, he's like, dude, it's not these, a lot of these ideas aren't even my ideas. I was just able to learn from great people before me and then put it into a sentence that makes it easy for people to understand, and it's resonating with people. So that he's like, so a lot of the stuff that I'm not even come up with, some of the stuff, it's just stuff I heard from other great, philosophical thinkers.
That's a lot of the times how it goes. We're just kind of relaying the message, and try not to screw it up, like that game Telephone.
Oh yeah.
We're just trying to get the most accurate version at the end of it.
And so, I feel like there's a lot of information that's out there, and especially with this being a mental health channel and him being a clinical psychologist that deals with people's mental health, in the form of like, working people through their issues, and dealing with people's depression and talking about how to fix things and stuff like that. I feel like he's a great asset, and he's definitely worth the few minutes of looking into.
I know you didn't like ever expect yourself to be on a mental health podcast or podcast in general, but a mental health one. And like I said, I kind of want to rant and touch on everything, but this being the primary basis of, and foundation of this channel. But like I said, it's great to get into other things, but like, are you kind of, how do you feel about, I mean, like, do you enjoy talking about this topic? Are you surprised by the fact that you're able to like carry a conversation about this type of stuff? Being is that you never, like you said, you never struggled with it.
Surprised is not the word I would use to describe that, because I would say no. However, I don't know exactly what I was expecting as far as like how I would react to the mental health aspect of the channel. I do know that it's relevant to everybody's life, because I mean, I don't think mental health has, I mean, I can't say this definitively because I don't have any sort of data to support what I'm about to say, but I would assume mental health has always been around. It was just of a taboo that was left in the closet if you struggled with it. It was nothing that was ever brought to the limelight, so to speak. And so now that people are becoming more open about it, it seems like mental health is on the rise. I just finally think people are finally saying, hey, look, I actually have something that I want to talk about, that I've been struggling with forever. And so I would say it's prevalent in everyone's life. You're going to know somebody at some point that has mental health. So I've looked into it a little bit. And then of course, working in the jail, I dealt a lot with mental health. A lot of it was drug-induced mental health issues, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, I still had to deal with people that weren't, I mean, I'm talking like psychosis type stuff, talking to themselves in the middle of the night type crap.
Yeah,
but
real issues.
But I mean, no, I'm not real issues. It's not like it's different than talking to someone with depression or bipolar disorder. When you have a person that's
shitting themselves,
and talking to things that aren't, at least in their reality is there, but in everybody else's aren't.
Psychosis.
So different animal, but it's everywhere, dude. And I like talking about it because I learn. I learn more about it because it's not. I don't want to say it's something that's not interesting to me. It's just something that I probably wouldn't have dove this far into it had it been on my own. So the fact that you're sitting here, talking about your experience of going through your diagnosis, treatment plan, the things that you deal with on a day-to-day basis or on a weekly basis, whatever, I would have been none the wiser to. So for me, it's fun learning about that kind of stuff. I don't know if that's cruel for me to say fun learning about it.
It's interesting. It's a new topic for you to learn about.
I enjoy it, learning about it. And then, like I said, seeing it like, and hopefully stuff like, platforms like this will help I know there's a lot of funding going out, but I feel like there could be more. And I'm going to use a point from the jail. There was this guy that came in one day. I seen him. He had staples on the side of his head. He got beat up by the arresting agency. And he was walking around like this. Like his hands were like in like fists, and he was like stiff and rigid. Skinny dude. Over the course of a few months, his physical condition, just declined, dude. Like this guy stopped eating. He was already a skinny guy, lost a lot of weight, like basically a skeleton, to the point where we had to keep him in a separate medical area just so they can observe him. And like, then he had to go out to the hospital to get IV fluids because he wasn't taking any water. Crazy stuff, dude. This guy didn't talk. He would make like noises, like grunts. One day, I see him. He comes back. He's getting medication. The court's ordered that he be medicated to go through the court proceedings. And I see him one day, and he was eating his food, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's eating good. We're on a good track." I didn't work the same spot every day at the jail, so I'd come back like a week or so later. Boom, I'm here again, and this dude,
Sorry, bro. I gotta.
It's cool. It was just I feel like I was interrupting your conversation.
No, I just interrupted yours.
Long story short, this
No,
guy.
okay. So go back to where. Okay, so when this idiot called me, my doctor. You were saying that he started eating again.
He was eating again. Okay, so time goes by and I keep, every like a couple weeks I'm back in there again. And now he's sitting at the day room table eating. He eat out in the day room and then go back to his cell and close the door. And then one day I walked by and I see him reading a book. He was in his cell reading a book. I'm like, I'm not gonna say his last name. I was just kind of like, hey man, like, how's it going? Pretty good so far. Just gotta know my name. Wow, okay. A few weeks later go by. I'm talking to a Spanish speaking inmate and he was asking about his court date. And I was trying my best to give him, the information he needed in the broken Spanish that I do know. And he comes up and translates for this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, dude, like a couple months ago, you were like withering away and now you're translating for me. And then you're very polite. Start talking with the nurse. And she goes, oh, well, he got this medication that was like court ordered that we had to give him. And so he can go through trial and go through the whole court proceedings, right? And she goes, the sad part is that this medication is very, very expensive. And so when he gets out of here, we're going to give him the remainder of his prescription. And then once that particular, whatever, we'll say 10 pills runs out, he's probably going to come back into that same state again because his family can't afford to provide him with the medication he needs to function at this level. And I'm like, and to me that was like, damn, it was sad because you have a mental disorder doesn't absolve you from the crime that you commit, right? It does play a factor in your sentencing, and then the judge is going to, rather than sentence you to prison, they're going to try to get you some treatment to get you help, most of the time from that, But if he would have had the proper medication, the chance of him, especially for, I don't know what his condition was, but whatever it was enough to make him be able to translate. I didn't even know the guy knew my name, and now he's over here translating English to Spanish for me, and vice versa. He likely wouldn't have committed that crime to begin with. You know what I'm saying? And so to me, it's kind of like, hopefully stuff like this, this channel, and if there's others that are like it, can bring these types of situations up to people. Because to me, it was like, that sucks for him, sucks for his family. They can't afford to give this guy a pill. I'm pretty sure when he goes into that regress state, of being, it's even harder for them to feed him, clothe him, because he basically becomes a big child. It's like, we need hopefully people like this, like I said, any other channels like this. Hopefully it'll fall upon more ears, more funding gets available, maybe more grants get people that are in the position to donate big, or people that are in positions to make good, like, legislative decisions or have legislative impact can hear this kind of stuff and make funding more available for people that can't afford to have, what I'm going to say, the nicer things in life, which is medication for their son to be a normal person and I thought that was like extremely eye-opening. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, like this guy he came in looking like he, had some sort of mental condition where he had the cognitive ability of a 4-year-old. Judge signs an order, says, get this man what he needs. And all of a sudden this guy's bilingual. You know what I'm saying? Like, It's crazy. And so to me, it's just kind of like, and so working in that environment showed me like a lot of the, what's wrong with our culture. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying what's wrong, but like we're focusing all these other little trivial issues in my mind, in my opinion, when we have stuff like this that's going on, where we had a guy, like I said, that without this medication is a 4-year-old, you give it to him, this guy's translating for people. Like, why aren't we focusing on this? Why are we worried about this little, my opinion on, crappy situation or,
Yeah, our focus is in the complete wrong area. And
hopefully stuff like this brings that kind of stuff to light, like, hey, we should focus more on this.
And if it was focused on that, dude, it would affect America, not just America, but like the world. If the world was like this, it would be such a more positive place, because it would like trickle down, like all that. Like if everyone was just operating more or less normal, I know some people have it more severe than others, but like you said, like if we could just get the people that need help, and get them to operate and lead a normal lifestyle, dude, that would do wonders for this the United States.
Well, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Just because more people can contribute now, and then we have less crime.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I mean, it's just think of it. Okay, let's say that pill was $400 a pill, right? So I have no idea what it was. I have no idea.
They get up there, bro. They get up there.
But I'm just to say, just $400 a pill, very expensive, and you have 30 days, and you have to take one every day. That's a lot of money every day for a month, and then for a year, so on. But let's just say if you make that more affordable or something, even if it's like a grant or I don't know, it gets covered under insurance. I don't know. We'll just say it's covered somehow. That guy's family doesn't have to worry about him wandering off, getting himself hurt, getting a phone call that hey, come pick up the body at the morgue. The likelihood of him being incarcerated because of something that he did. You don't have to worry about them. Hey, your kid's in jail, and then like whoever he may have committed the crime against, you know what I'm saying? Like if he stole your bike, if he stabbed your dog thinking it was a dragon or something, kidnapped your child. Like, I mean, there's that's just one person. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine if you did that, if it was like 10 people per city or 100 people per city, multiply that times state, and it just like, it's a significant umbrella that I think it's
a ripple effect.
Yeah,
bro. It would just,
because it's not affecting just one person. You know what I'm saying? So, that's, I don't even think I answered your original question, but all that to say, like,
no, you did.
But it's just like, this is what I find joyful in it, and it's fun for me. Is just kind of like, hey, we might be that one little catalyst.
Your response just kind of, that was enough for me, bro, because I can tell you're interested, and that's a really good thing, bro. Like, because my whole thing was I don't want to shove this down your throat if it's not something you're interested in, because like if you throw a kid in a classroom and the subject isn't interesting to them, they're just gonna drift off. And I didn't want that to happen with you. It's like, I know it's a serious thing, but like some people they're not into this type of shit,
Well, it may not be into it, but I can almost guarantee everyone that may view this has someone close to them that's struggling with something.
Most likely, yes.
And maybe not to a real big degree, but there's something there that could be noticed, and that person that's close to them may just be ashamed and doesn't want to talk about it. And maybe it's something similar to what you have going on in your life, or maybe just something we've discussed on the channel. And hey, they talked about that, and that's what my best friend or my uncle or my dad does or whatever, my brother. Maybe I could talk to him about it, and then boom, all of a sudden you pull that string, it unravels, and you find out the guy's been struggling with this crap for the last 10 years. And so for me, man, I don't like being the person that just kind of stands idly by. If I can throw out a life raft, so to speak, I'm going to throw out the life raft, whether or not the help is wanted. If you want to drown, that's cool, but you can't expect me to sit there idly by and watch you struggle, So for me, I talk to you about this. We can identify things that you've dealt with, things that help you get through it. And it's like, hey, I actually know someone that's experiencing similar stuff. And you say this helps. Let me go recommend this to them. Maybe it might help them out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To make their quality of life improve. So
I think that's awesome, bro. We need more positive thinking minds like that. And it's totally possible we can make this shit happen. We just gotta get this out to the right people,
Well, it starts with you guys liking, subscribing, and and
please
spread the word.
And with that said, bro, we're gonna wrap this one up. We're
Sounds
an hour
good.
and a half in. So I agree. Please like, subscribe if you guys enjoy the content on the channel first and foremost. And then, share it with people who you think might be struggling. But it does help us out, helps out the algorithm. And I got big goals this year, and my goal is to reach as many people as I possibly can. And I'm trying to better myself, and I think you guys should be doing the same. But with that said, man, I'm going to conclude this episode of the PO3 Podcast, man. So, I hope you guys have a good week, and stay tuned every Monday, 9 a.m. We'll be dropping these here on this platform, and thank you for coming through again, man. I appreciate you listening as well as you do, and really, really considering my point of view on everything. I really do appreciate it. I have to say that. But with that said, man, this has been another episode of the PO3 Podcast. My name is Marcus Martin.
Just John.
We'll catch you next week.
Bada bing.
down boy. Nay! Nay! I took out the trash 4 moons ago. I can't hear shit.